Hi. My name is RJ. And I'm joined by.
Hello, I'm Mira. I will be playing Sammy Jacks this evening.
Oh shit, yeah,
Afternoon.
character. Well, it's evening for me, so you're not that far off. I'm playing Jay Inkheart. So this is an FPS between the two of us because we both have a tie to one Gil treble.
Mm-hmm.
For anyone listening, I highly recommend, if you haven't already listened to Eat Your Heart Out and the other FPSs that followed along after that,
Yep.
go listen to those. Because it's like
There were
it's
many FPSs that followed that game that should tell you something. And this is another.
Five, I think.
Yeah, well, there was Open Heart Stitchery,
The two with You, Wiz, and Heartless.
yeah, like
The
there
one
was
between Bond and Bondlock, and the one
the two of
between,
those. And then there was also Sandy.
The one with Sandy, and then the one with Jay and Gil, and now there's this one, so there's like 7 or 8.
So this is like the 7th, I think.
Point is, there's gonna be spoilers. Go listen to those first.
Please, otherwise you will be spoiled to peck.
Or don't. You don't have to do what we say, but yeah.
Yeah. It's up to you. It's up to you if you don't mind spoilers.
We waffled on for like 2 minutes already. So, let's start this thing.
Alright.
How do you think these two ran into one another?
Well, you've said that Jay has been kind of just hanging around Toontown seeing the sights, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Would he venture into places that are a little bit more uninhabited, per se? Like, there's not a lot of people around, it's kind of deserted?
Oh, absolutely. He is a big fan of all kinds of architecture. Even if he doesn't know much about it, he's very good at spotting things and going like, huh, that's really pretty.
Okay, then in that case, why don't we start this off with you rolling in perception check?
Rolling a perception? Oh boy, perception. Oh hey, I'm actually semi-decent at that. If I could go to the right tab, that'd be great. D20 plus 5. Wait, I have my physical dice on hand!
Oh, I should grab mine. I also have dice. Mine
isn't overspaced.
1 sec, my dice went flying. 1 sec.
Don't throw the dice. You need that.
1 second. I threw out of my box. That's what happened. I didn't throw shit.
Whoops.
Okay, so I got my D10. Now I just need to find my
12.
D20. Okay, that's good enough. Just give me a mo while I look for my missing die. Oh, jeez, where did you go? Yeah, fell underneath my bed. So, give me a mo. Just gonna technical difficulties here. Please stand by.
We are professionals, I swear.
Oh, jeez, where the heck did it go? Like,
you could.
I saw it roll underneath my bed, and now it's gone under the many miscellaneous things that have slipped into the abyss.
Rip.
Well, I guess I'm not using my physical dice right now.
Oof.
Never mind on
well, you still have
that.
a D10, you can do cover space roll. Thank you, Heartless, for the technical difficulties image.
Okay, let me just cut this back where this one belongs.
Honestly, this very much fits with how much planning we've done for this. Yeah.
It fits right in. I will have to find that later. Anyways, so you got a 12. Okay, that is enough to notice. As you're walking along from from basically what happens, Jay, as you're walking around Toontown is that you step across the street bordering from one block of the city to the next. And it's like
you step through something. Like, there's no magic or anything that really tingles or anything like that, but all of a sudden, the ambient noise of a very lively town just slowly fades away. And there's no one on the streets in front of you or around, and as you look around this new block of Toontown, you notice that all of the shops and street and all of everything are in just a state of disrepair. It looks abandoned, like no one's really been here for many, many, many years. And up ahead of you is a theater. Its sign kind of worn away. You can't even really tell what the last showing was. The letters are too faded for you to really mark out.
Well, he will definitely take a note of that atmosphere. He'll probably, because he keeps his shield on his back when he's just walking around places. It's a habit at this point to just go around armed and armored. So he'll probably shrug his shield actually onto his arm, but continue on with the other hand free. Just keeping a wary eye out. But he will head over to the theater because that looks interesting.
Okay. As you wander by, you head towards the theater, coming from kind of the side street alley where there's kind of a dilapidated fence and you can kind of see some trees poking up. They look pretty healthy considering the state of abandonment everything else around is facing, actually. Like, the trees are very vibrant and green, and they kind of faintly blow in the breeze. You hear a clatter and a quiet burst of Grolix in a familiar voice.
Interesting. What? I need to check really quick. Chain shirt. Does that have stealth disadvantage? It doesn't. Fantastic. Okay. Well, he has no idea what's going on, so the first thing he's going to do is try and walk over, but in a way that doesn't really draw attention to the fact that he is there now. Which means I'm rolling stealth. Oh, so close. That's a 19 plus whatever the hell his stealth modifier is. 2. 19 plus 2.
Okay, with a dirty 21, you approach the alley and you peek. If you peek, you notice that there's like a little gap in between some of the fencing where some of the fence has just kind of fallen off, leaving a pretty decently sized hole for a toon, even as big as Sammy, to slip on through without any trouble. Do you poke your head in through?
He is a nosy bitch. He will absolutely poke his head in.
Okay, so as you poke your head through, you look and you see a garden that is extremely lush and well taken care of. There's like still a few bits and bobs of weeds in some of the beds that are closer to the theater, but as you're looking and you're peering through, you see as it gets closer and closer to this babbling fountain, you notice that it becomes more and more well taken care of, almost like it's being radiated out from a certain point. And you see Sammy, but he's not exactly the same as you first saw him. His hood is down with, you see rainbow hair that reaches down to his shoulders, and you see, well, his back is to you, so all you really see is the rainbow hair, and at his feet is a tiny little flower planting box like that you get from a flower shop, and it's kind of just fallen over, and he's just kind of rubbing at his foot, and then he just kind of grumbles again and growls and rights up the flowers and tries to scoop all the dirt that kind of had fallen out because he'd basically tripped over the flowers that he was going to plant in some of the more empty flower planter boxes around. And the next thing you notice is in the middle of the fountain is a statue of a Toon, a very tall Toon, with inky black iron cast skin, with rainbow hair that is blown glass, and she is holding a spear.
I feel kind of bad because I, as RJ, know the significance of Sammy and Hood Down. Jay doesn't know shit, Jon Snow.
Yep, I know.
So I feel bad. He doesn't know enough to feel bad. I'm also going to have him roll history at disadvantage on that statue. Because, oh, for fuck's sake. That's the first roll? Okay. That's the second roll. Rolled natural 20 the first time. Such a waste. And a 5 the second time.
All you really get is that this is kind of a statue of a deity patron of sorts. You have no flipping clue who this person is, though. Like, that's all you get.
Yeah, that does tend to be how it be. Honestly, I probably could have rolled religion for that, but it would only be an 8 anyway.
Still would have gotten basically the same. You wouldn't have, yeah.
I just realized. Deity, duh. But yeah, Jay will shrug his shield back onto his back and kind of hesitate in the whole kind of head, like bent down slightly so he can like tilt his head underneath and catch Sammy's attention and be like, "You need a hand, mate?"
1 sec, just... so, yeah, Sammy jumps.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, with a 5, he, like, jumps, and, like, you see him clear, like, a good foot off the ground, and he just kind of, roll me perception real quick.
Sure, yeah, I will do that. Fuck's sakes, Jay! It's 10.
Okay, yeah, you kind of just blink, and he's like, there's out of the corner of your eye, you see like the merest smidge frame of like a smear frame as he rolls around to face you, his eyes wide, but yeah, his mask is firmly on his face, and he's just like, Jay, what are you doing here? Hi.
He'll like raise a hand in greeting and go, just walking around the neighborhood. Heard you swearing. Decided to see if you need a hand.
Yeah,
sorry if I'm intruding.
It's fine. It's fine. I just wasn't really expecting anybody to drop by here. So maybe I really should. This happens a lot lately. Huh. Okay. Come in. Yeah.
You all come in. Walk over.
Yeah, Sammy just kind of bends down and picks up the flowers that he spilled and just kind of puts it on the bench of the intended flower destination of the planter box and just kind of awkwardly rubs at the back of his head. Just like, so, you're still here in Toontown, then?
Yeah, don't tend to lead Ilfracombe very much, so decided to treat it as a little vacation.
Well, Toontown's good for a vacation, I found. A lot of crazy stuff happens here.
Yeah, no, Gil did fill me in on some of it.
Did he tell you about the fact that he overthrew a government?
Oh, yeah, no, he made me very aware of that fact. Not saying they didn't deserve it, but...
I know, but he tells you that, and you don't expect it. But honestly, with how he's changed from when I first met him to now, I guess I really should have. And as he's speaking, his shading has kind of shifted from like a sky blue to a gold airbrushed with rose as he's talking about Gil. And like his eyes are kind of just crinkled very fondly.
I'm gonna roll insight, see if I get a sense of what that means. Natural 20.
Nat 20. 28. 28 gets you the fact that Sammy is so fond and proud of Gil for the progress that he's made in just the short time that Sammy's known Gil, he's so happy and proud about Gil and his character development that's been happening, even though Sammy hasn't really been a part of it for most of it.
Yeah. You've definitely been good for him.
He just kind of makes that little startled noise and then points to himself, blinking is owlishly, just like, what, me? Huh? I didn't do anything!
Mate. Don't. He's already told me you three got together. Don't tell me you can't see how whatever real he is for you.
Sammy just kind of, his shading starts to just turn pink and more pink as he just kind of sticks one foot into the ground and just kind of waggles it a little.
Oh, shucks.
He's a little flustered because he kind of has noticed, but at the same time, he's like been just like he hasn't really gone on any real adventures with Gil or anything like that. So he's just like, he's chased him once, gone on a date with him once, had a fight with him once, maybe twice, considering an argument they had on their date. But he's just like, I know he likes me, but his development hasn't really been because of me. It's just been because of others, his family, I think, because every time he talks about his family, it's another adventure that they've gone on. And with that nat 20, since I'm letting you carry that on, Sammy sounds a little wistful about that. He wants to go on an adventure with Gil where it's not necessarily about the chase or anything like that, but he doesn't really expect anything like that to happen anytime soon.
Jay sees this, and there's a quiet moment of reflection on his part, but he will kind of nod a little bit and go, yeah, family's important, but your nemesis ship is equally important. You balance each other out. And yeah, maybe you haven't been there for a long time, but you, in your short time, have done more than I could in 5 years. So I'd say you're doing pretty good.
You're with him for 5 years?
Mm.
That's a long time.
Yeah. Not long enough for us to get our heads out our asses, but you already done far better than me on that part.
He kind of laughs at that, and he kind of just gives you, like, he gives you kind of like a soft look, because like, he, and like, but I am gonna roll insight because he
Yeah, sure.
wouldn't necessarily know this, but it's a 6. He just kind of looks at you fondly because like, from the way you're talking, you and the way you talked back in Eat Your Heart Out about caring about Gil still, he appreciates the fact that you still like Gil. And he again, with that nat 20, you notice that he's not really jealous about the fact that you guys have had a longer time to know each other or anything like that. He's genuinely happy that you and Gil were had liked each other back then. And that, like, you guys had each other back then.
That's really sweet. Oh my god.
He's not a jealous creature, okay?
He's so good. I care him so much.
Like, I was like poking him, like, you gotta say anything about the 5 years? And he was just like, I'm happy they were there for each other. And I'm just like, Sammy! This boy does not have a jealous bone in his body.
He's so good. But Jenny's gonna reach up. Maybe I need to go on tiptoes because of the fucking height difference. And he'll clap a hand on Sammy's shoulder and go, "So, allow me to learn you a thing from my experience."
Sammy tilts
Make
his
sure
head.
you communicate, yeah?
He nods. He's just like, I actually talked to him a little bit ago about what happened during the whole mess of everything. And it was a good talk.
And that's a good step. But
Yeah.
I don't just mean about the big things. I mean about the little things as well. The things you want to happen that aren't happening, the things that you're not comfortable with, or the things that you like, things you're having fun with.
Sammy nods, and he's like, I did mention the fact that I didn't want to throw him in jail. I don't want him to be caged. He just kind of trails off, looking a little pensive.
Jay will wince slightly and retract his hand. I did my best to keep that from happening, but there were times where I just couldn't stop police getting involved where I could fix whatever Gil had broken, or sort out whatever he was doing.
Sammy nods. I can't really stop him from being who he is, but if we're doing our chase, and if we can avoid it, then he does better free. And he just kind of laughs a little quietly at that. Wouldn't be able to change, I think, while he's serving time, I think, even if he doesn't stick there.
Yeah, no, he's a wild soul, that one.
Right. It's good, though. I'm glad he's wild.
Definitely suits.
Sammy's shading is back to that golden airbrushed rose shading that he has. He's just like, kind of just sighs a little because they're talking about Gil. This color's gonna pop up pretty often.
Love struck.
Yeah, he's very fond of his boy. Even if he gets frustrated too. Yeah.
Jay is gonna. He's definitely twigged what that color combination means by now. But he'll take a moment to look Sammy up and down and go, well, we both know about Gil, and you pretty much know about me. But I don't know much about you.
Sammy just kind of blinks, and he kind of moves over to sit by the fountain, and he kind of just pats next to him. He's like, well, what do you want to know?
Jay will sit down, think on it for a moment, and then go, I'm pretty curious as to how you two met. I want to see if it's anything like what happened with me and him.
You know, the funny thing is that he tried to pull... He was running away from the police, and he tried to pull me into a hostage situation, but you have to understand, before all of this, I lived on the streets. Before I started chasing Gil, before I was basically taken in by this detective, I lived on the streets. The police aren't exactly my friend. And so I see this random, desperate toon, smaller than I am, running from the police, desperate enough to pull a rapier on me. 6 foot toon.
Yeah.
And I look at the situation, and I'm gonna side on the littler guy's side. I mean, come on! Police are picnics! So, I grab his wrist, and we book it. And since I've been here a while, I was able to lose the police, and you know what? Find out that he was this dumbass who stole his own wanted poster sign right in front of the police and was wanted for basically stealing some purple Kool-Aid, not purple, green Kool-Aid drink, limeade, something or whatever. It's been a bit. A lot of stuff happened in between then and us meeting a second time. Anyway, and he was going to prank Dodo Studios for his friends and stuff, and I'm just sitting here with this dumbass who decided to just do all of that without thinking about who was watching. And then I decided to take him out to the movies, because what the hell?
From he stole his own wanted poster right in front of the police, Jay's had his head buried in his hands yep, he would do that. This idiot would indeed do that.
And then Sammy's eyes, they kind of lose their shine a little, and he sighs. But we went to the movie theater, snuck in, because I'd missed it. I'd missed sneaking into the movie theater. So we both decided, hey, let's sneak in. And he charmed a guard. And, Jay, please roll insight.
Alrighty. Fuck me. That's 11.
Okay, what you get from that is Sammy's face has darkened. Literally, his shading has gone black, and his hand has reached out to grab his wrist, and his grip has just kind of tightened a little. I'm just gonna... Okay, as he's gripping it, a little bit of black ink starts trailing down his wrist, and he starts cursing in Grolix again, and Just gonna roll a d10. Okay, he gets out and he pulls out from his sleeve handkerchief and just kind of holds it there, and he's like, sorry.
Yeah, no, yeah, that's, yeah.
Yeah, he just kind of sighs, and sorry. Charming people is something that I don't agree with.
Me neither, in all honesty.
Yeah, I get if you save it for the uses of saving other people, but it was just for fun. It was something to get. Yeah, I tried to punch him. He dodged, but yeah, our meeting kind of went a little sour after that, because it.
Because Gil was an idiot.
Gil was an idiot, and yeah. But our second meeting, his sister actually invited me over to go see go to a carnival, and he was there and decided to tag along, but I didn't recognize him because he'd gone through a redesign, and Jay, he was so pretty. He was so pretty, and as he's talking, the black has faded to this pink as he kind of just shakes his head at the fact that this tune had been so pretty that his brain cells had completely gone out the window.
Jay notices that, and starts laughing at you.
The light pink has turned to a darker, more hot pink as he just kind of rubs at his wrist one final time, and as he pulls away, the black is kind of gone, and he stows the now darkened handkerchief away.
Jay's gesturing for you to continue the story as he's trying to stifle his laughter. Because he doesn't want to be mean, but also that's hilarious.
Yeah, so Sammy just continues, and he's just so we go to this carnival, and to my surprise, it's a carnival dedicated to Crunkle. So I'm sitting here surrounded by all of these hearts with his sister, who is a very good friend of mine, completely oblivious, she's very young and I love her, she's very sweet, and Gil, who is flirting up a storm because he realized that I thought he was pretty.
You might want to hold Jay up, because otherwise he's going to fall off the fountain with how hard he's laughing now.
Okay, let me just roll Dex and see if Sammy actually can catch.
No! Jay is on the floor.
No, he's not on the floor. He falls into the fountain, my good sir.
Jay is in the fountain. that does put pause to his laughter, because otherwise he'd start drowning, but he heaves himself up onto his elbows, and he's just you oblivious.
Sammy
you're a riot.
Pink as Jay is just laughing. And he's just I'm gonna roll a thing to see if he acted. Yeah, Jay, roll Dex for me, please.
Save?
Just roll a Dex save real quick.
Yep. Can do. Thank you for get the benefit of aura of protection for this. Never mind, that's not one.
Jay, you get shoved back into the water because you're laughing at Sammy. And, like, he doesn't, like, push you down for long. He just kind of pushes you and you go sprawling.
There's a moment of... Before he, like, actually properly picks himself up and gets out. Probably soaking wet at this point.
And, like, Sammy just kind of, like, buries his face in his hands and he's just like, shut up, stop laughing, okay? I know we were both oblivious.
Mate, oh my god. he visibly takes a moment to try and calm down. Now roll a wisdom save. That's not 20. Jesus Christ. 20 plus 10. Okay, he manages to calm down.
Yeah, like, just Sammy, just, like, he is just, like, he rubs his face a little and he's just like, yeah, halfway through that is when I realized I was talking to the Gil Trouble because he insisted I not call him Gilly like his sister did, and for me to call him Gil. And then we went up onto the Ferris wheel, and when we got to the top and it stopped, I punched him because he charmed another guard at Dodo Studios. And I promised a friend if he did it again, I would punch him.
Yep, nope, that's very well deserved.
But the thing is, he didn't move. He sighs, and his shading shifts from pink to blue, and he's just like, he didn't move. And then he has this issue now. He didn't have it before when we first met, or at least I don't think he did, but it started to go off while we were up there, and it was awful being stuck up there when he started just being so hurt that I couldn't heal it.
Jay is like, there was a moment of, is this what I think this is? And then you say that, it's like, yeah, it probably is, okay. He's like nodding a little bit, like, yeah, it's plenty scary.
Sammy looks at you, Jay, and he just kind of, his shoulders slump. He's like, did he say that he didn't need help in front of you too?
He said it in that he was describing the circumstances that bring it about, and it triggered. He wasn't expecting it to.
Oh, Gil. And Sammy, he rubs at his face and he's just like, well, at least it wasn't as bad as when I found him with Chifley. And he just kind of rubs at his face again because that was a whole mess.
There is an innuendo that Jay could make, but he's not going to because he has some sense of tact. So instead, he's going to say, do you know if there's any way to, like, permanently fix it? Or is it part of his design now?
I don't know. Maybe it'll go away when Gil learns whatever quote-unquote lesson he's supposed to learn from this. And as he's saying lesson, there's the quotation marks. He's doing the quotation marks, and he just kind of shakes his head and just, I don't like it. I don't like him going through that. It's scary, and he's always so tired after. But
you described it as fading out of existence.
Sammy just kind of rubs his arm. He doesn't rub his wrist, and he's just like, no one should be forgotten, but it's not a fate anyone should have. And he kind of just half turns towards the statue that's behind him as he's speaking.
Jay does raise an eyebrow at that. Is like, is that someone you know?
Oh, yeah, she's my patron, and for a while everybody forgot that she existed. Her name's Prismatone. And
there is a distinct look of sympathy on Jay's face as you say that.
Yeah, and he looks up at he's not really looking at you, Jay, as he looks up at the statue, and he's just, she saved my life. I wouldn't be here without her. And he kind of brings up his face. He brings his hands up to his face, and he rubs the rainbow-colored markings on his cheeks as he says so.
Jay nods slightly and goes, Christmas, Anna.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'll remember that. If you can get me any writings or anything you've got on her, I'll add them to the list.
Sammy looks at him and, hey, RJ, do you want to roll Jay an insight?
Yeah, sure. I can totally do that. God damn it, Jay. That's a 10. So I'm slowly getting worse and worse on these. It's like, ugh.
Well, the DC's not very high. You can tell that he is both beaming at you and he's also almost about to cry, but his shading is like so bright, it's a highlight of yellow. It's not even shading at this point, it's just highlighter. As he just kind of looks at you, Jay, and is just like, you would do that?
Yeah.
I've like written some tiny things about what she's told me about herself. Here, let me. And he's gonna roll hammer space 7, and he pulls out a little stack of papers that he's written, and like there's like it's not a lot. There's if you Sammy hands them over, you can see in kind of barely illegible writing, little scribbled notes that Sammy himself has written, but on the margins and kind of curling around all of these pages are these intricate little drawings and sketches, and sometimes even a full-blown painting of the figure in the statue, that you recognize as the same person as the statue. And she's depicted with a long black flowing dress with differing patterns in the dress and in each of the different pages, and just other intricate designs that kind of just flow around the borders of the pages. It may not be well written, but it is crafted with love.
He will quickly leaf through them, notice the picture, look down at it, and then back up the statue and go, huh, fair enough. Then put the rest of it in his hammer space. Is is Sammy wearing his holy symbol?
Yes, it is currently it is currently kind of nestled underneath the gotta think of the string. That's the word. The string is currently kind of hidden underneath the base of his hood, but the actual necklace part that looks like a half sun with 7 spires, 7 spokes, is currently nestled right kind of over his collarbone, also acting as a pin for the rest of his robes.
Fair. Just gonna roll a okay, it's a 17. Just rolling flat intelligence to see if he recognized this. You notice his gaze catches on the holy symbol for a moment. His eyes kind of narrow a little bit as if he's trying to place something. He snaps his fingers and goes, "Someone came through Ilfracombe. God, it must have been like 4 months ago now, wearing that symbol. I was trying to place it."
Sammy's eyes go wide. He leans forward and is just like, "There's someone else? Did you catch their name? Like, what did they look like? I thought I was the only one who knew about her. Like, and actually followed her still."
She, they had rainbow hair, kind of like yours, but like went through all the colors at different points, like a kind of shifting color gradient. Slightly taller than I am. The name began with a T. I can't remember it for the life of me.
Sammy just kind of sits back, and his shading, it was bright before, but now it's just so saturated with color, and he just kind of reaches up and wipes underneath his eyes, and he's just like, that's so good to hear. Were they looking for anything? What were they doing there?
I honestly couldn't tell you. They did seem to be looking for something, but they didn't say what it was.
Sammy kind of nods, and he's just like, I'll have to ask Prismatone if she knows them, and if maybe I'd eventually eat them, because I'm not even gonna have you roll for this. He looks overjoyed at the news that there's someone like him out there who follows Prismatone. Because, like, he knows that there were followers of Prismatone in the past, but there's more currently. He wants to meet them. He really wants to meet them eventually.
Hey, Sammy, roll insight.
Okay. That's a 5.
That's a 5. Okay. Jay is smiling, and it looks to be a I don't know the word, like happy for you, that kind of emotion.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, right, there are supposed to be better words than this.
I feel that.
Yeah, so he is smiling at you from his position from where he stood, still soaking wet from the fountain. Yeah, he nods slightly and goes, I'll add these writings to the library I've got. Haven't found anyone else yet who follows Polaroid, but maybe this will bring some more followers of Prismatome together.
I'm gonna roll religion to see if Sammy recognizes Polaroid, and nope, he kind of just tilts his head and blinks a little confusedly at you, Jay, and he's like, Polaroid? Like a camera?
I mean, From what I know, yes.
How does a gun have a library?
No, he doesn't. It's my library.
Oh, so a person named
Yeah.
Polaroid.
Polaroid's my deity.
Oh, I'm glad that Sammy just kind of he brightens again, and it's just he looks really happy for you, Jade, that you have a patron yourself.
He's never actually spoken to me. He and I have something in common. We're not actually native to this world. I don't know if he's figured out yet how to talk to me. But I know he's there. He gestures to himself, and you've seen him do magic, so he's got to be getting his power from somewhere, so...
Sammy, blank, 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 not native to this world. His shading has gone from yellow to gray, as he just kind of blank, 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 dot, 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 question mark?
Jay sees all of this as just it's a long story, don't worry about it.
So he just kind of blinks again and just kind of nods. He okay. He's confused, but he's got the spirit. He's giving you a thumbs up.
Jay will take that thumbs up and roll with it.
Sammy's not gonna pry.
That's so valid. So Jay will actually roll hammer space himself. I'll just roll the d20 divided by 2. Yeah, it's fine. There's a 8 before. He reaches into his hammer space, pulls out a piece of paper and a little bit of charcoal, and holds them out to you, and goes, so, you have a phone now, apparently. Gil already gave me his number to contact if I find any information that he's looking for. I will do the same for you if you give me your number if I find anything out about any other followers of Prismatone or anything like that.
Sammy's gonna roll hammer space to see if he can find the paper.
No, that's a fumble!
Fumble! Okay, gotta pull up Sammy's fumble sheet because I once again forgot to pull that up as well. Okay, let's see what we shall get. Okay, 2. Sammy pulls out a bouquet of hibiscus, orange lilies, and black dahlias, and he just kind of holds this up and blank, 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 question mark?
There's a blink, blink, blink from Jay as well before he goes, I'm flattered, mate, but you've already got 2 boyfriends. I don't think you need a 3rd.
Sammy starts giggling and he's just, I don't even know where I got these. I don't even think they like these, honestly. They're just kind of, they honestly give me a little bit of a bad vibe. I don't know why. And he just kind of tosses them over his shoulder.
So they just yeets him into the fountain.
No, it goes over the fountain. He's not, no, goodbye.
This bitch empty.
Yeet! We're gonna.
Rolling. Oh, okay. That's not.
That's another fumble. Okay, that's a 4. Okay, he pulls out a block of cheese, and there's a squeak that comes from the hood of his robes, and a little white mouse pokes his head out from out of the folds, and is like, squeak, 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 and someone's like, oh, here, squeakers, and he hands the mouse the block of cheese, and the mouse gratefully takes the cheese and dips back into hiding in Sammy's hood to eat the cheese happily.
I'm not even going to question that one.
And he's He's the first friend I made when I first got out of the streets. I can talk to animals sometimes.
Wait, is that a thing that Toons can do? I thought they're going nuts!
Some of them can talk to animals like me. I think it has to do because I'm aligned with Frankenelli's. I think I have a bit of Frankenelli in my history, but because I'm mainly Ghiblian, but I think there's Frankenelli somewhere in the line.
I'm just gonna roll intelligence check to see if Jay knows what the fuck you're talking about. That's a 10. 9 plus 1. He might have a vague idea. He's still very confused.
Well, let's
like,
see.
Mechanically, he himself is Frankenali. But he has no idea.
I'm gonna roll intelligence
he doesn't
to see
know
it.
Toons.
Sammy does not pick up the fact that Jay is confused as Peck. Because he got a 6 on his intelligence roll.
Rip.
So
if you want to make it an insight roll instead, I'll happily allow it.
Do you want me to roll again, or just add my modifier?
I don't mind, whichever works for you.
Okay, let's roll again then.
No, that's worse. That is significantly worse. That's not one.
Yeah, he doesn't read any of the confusion. He's basically already digging into his hammer space again. Let's see how this goes. Okay, yeah, he pulls out a tiny little slip with his number on it, and he's just like, oh, okay. So, magically, I got a phone right before all of the mess happened with Gil and Bonlock and everything, but I found this attached to it, so I guess this is my number? Here. And he hands it over to Jay.
Jay will make a copy of it and hand the original back in case Sammy needs to give that to anyone else. He'll put the copy... RJ will smack his knuckles against his laptop like an idiot. But Jay is going to put the copy of the number in his hammer space.
And Sammy puts his number back in his hammer space, and he's just like, you might want to call me first if you have a phone handy yourself, just because I don't know if that's the right number. It was attached, but I don't know how phones work, especially phones that magically appear in your hammer space and start ringing.
I'm gonna roll a D100 to see if he does have a phone. Nope, that's not how that command works. So close to the funny number. That's a 68. He does not have a phone on him.
Sammy is just like, shrug. Oh well, if Toon Logic states that Sammy will eventually get a call from RJ. I mean, from Jay.
Jay's just like... Jay's just like, if it isn't, I'll apologize profusely and get Gil to give me it.
Sammy nods. And then he pauses. Gonna roll a D2 for a moment. Yeah, so he like pauses for a moment and then goes, yeah, I did give him my number. I think. We were really tired. But yes, he has canonically off-screen given Gil his phone number.
Jay is once again biting his tongue around an innuendo he could make, but he's not going to because he has some sense of tact.
But yeah, so Sammy's just like, okay, yeah, got numbers, and he's honestly back to his yellow shading, because, the prospect of Jay calling him about news about Presbytone followers, that's exciting. He is very excited about that notion.
Me or Jay, I'm just like, that's so good.
Look, Sammy...
Jay is much more chill about it.
Look, Sammy has thought that he's been the only follower of Prismatone for a while, okay? Like, he has not met up canonically with any other Prismatone followers as of yet. Yeah. Trying to think of what else they could talk about, honestly.
Well, we have been going for an hour, so we could zoom out from this point with Jay helping Sammy finish up his gardening.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, honestly, that does seem like a good place to zoom out on.
Yeah, so we pan out from old and new Nemesis gardening together.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Cut to the end credits.
Yep. Roll credits, everybody.
Roll credits. Thank you very much for indulging me with this.
You're welcome. It was a blast. Thank you all for turning in. I hope you all had a good time. We'll say goodbye for now. Bye, y'all.
See ya.